will we see Justine this week? And then is there any update yet on Sasha?
So we find out at the end of the week for Sasha what the future holds in terms of just like the near future. And then for Justine, this will be her last game that she's sidelined. She'll be playing after that.
First chance on the road this year. How important is this trip for your team, on the floor but also off the floor, getting a chance to travel and spend some time together?
Yeah, it was the reason we scheduled the game when we did. A really good team on the road, tough environment, tough style of play, really good coach. So I think it's a really great opportunity for us to kind of see where we're at. And then I love going on the road this early and getting tested. I think that can only help your team. So I'm excited for Thursday. I think it'll tell us a lot about what we are doing well and what we need to get better at.
Has Michaela Blake's been what you expected in the first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, I did tell you guys that she was going to be something special. But I think if I had to be honest with you guys in terms of my expectations, I think that she's exceeded them so far in a bunch of ways. I have very high expectations. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But there's a way that she operates in practice, on the court, with her teammates, in the locker room. Just there's a fearlessness, a sense of urgency, a will to want to be great that exists within her at everything that she does. And that's been really cool to witness, as her coach. And I'm really glad she's in our locker room. Mm-hmm. But so far, I think she's done an amazing job, and I think hopefully it'll only continue to get better as she continues to get more comfortable.
Without Sasha, what have you seen in kind of your post players that have stepped in for her?
I think without Sasha, the experience that they're getting is awesome, right? So they're able to get a lot of minutes. We're seeing what they can do inside and outside the lane. I think they've all stepped up in different ways to make sure that they're rebounding and defending the way that our team needs them to win. But you can't count for the minutes that they're getting this early in the season in terms of experience. So no matter what, that in and of itself has been super valuable. And they've all done something that's helped our team win. And that's also a great thing for them and a great thing for us.
Now that you guys have played your first 2 games and you've been able to go back and watch film, things like that, is there an area in particular you focused on this week before hitting the road?
I think just consistency, just kind of in everything that we do. So consistent effort, communication. I think that's going to be those 2 things are going to be super important on the road. And I want to get them right now. So like if we can continue to get better at those 2 things when our backs are against the wall. So a lot of times, in the first couple games, that didn't really happen a lot. So I come to practice with a certain edge and I put their backs against the wall and then I see how they respond. And so far, I think that we're doing a really good job of growing in that area, but I want to see what it looks like on the road. I think if we have the expectations, we have to be successful in our conference, and that has to be who we are in tough moments. And my team, this team in particular, has a tendency to just kind of waffle with consistent effort and communication.
USF has a player who you kind of struggled against last year with Mama Dembele.
Yeah.
Is there anything you learned from facing her at Missouri that you're going to carry into that matchup?
There's a lot that we learned. I also think that she's a really good get for them because no one on their team does what she does, and then she has more pieces around her at South Florida in terms of being great, just doing what she's doing. So we do have some experience. I think that's a good thing for some of our players, knowing what we struggled with last year with her, and then also understanding that she's not the only person on their team that makes them go. So everybody's going to have to do a really good job on the defensive end of the floor, which is where we hang our hat. And I think they found that out today. We spent a lot of time today on our defense. So I'm happy that we were able to learn some today about what we're going to see on Thursday.
With Maddie Green coming back from injury and what she's been able to do on both ends of the floor on these first 2 games, how impressed have you been with just how seamlessly she's fit back into the lineup?
Really impressed. She keeps getting more comfortable. I don't know that I think I said this last time, I don't think the common athlete or person understands how hard that is to do, not playing for so long and then practicing but not playing games. So playing games is a whole nother level of rehab, and she just is like hit the ground running. And so I hopefully people can see why we missed her so much last year, but also what she's bringing to our team that we don't have. And she's really fit that puzzle piece for us. She's fit that mold. I'm excited to see her continue to grow.
Is there someone in particular that you were especially impressed by through the first 2 games? I guess besides Michaela.
Camille. I was impressed with Camille. I think she's a player who I have very high expectations of, and I'm very hard on her. I was really proud of her effort and the way that she went after rebounds, rebounding out of her area, making really good decisions with the ball. Camille's an excellent scorer, but I thought she did some playmaking the first 2 games that shows her growth and her trust in her teammates. And I think the consistency of both of those to me was really impressive. I was really proud of her. I've been hard on her, but her and also Yana Moore, kind of transitioning seamlessly into like understanding what we need from a leader, what we need from our most experienced veteran on the floor all the time, how she communicates with her teammates, and then utilizing the new pieces we have around her to her advantage so that she can continue to produce and help us win. I think she's been excellent in that role, excellent. So those 2 stuck out to me.
You mentioned wanting a little bit of a more consistent effort. How do you kind of bring that out of your team?
I think it's just me also communicating and consistently, like the word of the day, putting them in position to do those things, not constantly stopping them and telling them this, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I think for me, the growth I've had as a coach is just letting them figure some things out, but just keep putting them in those positions, let them play. Also, I know we can't go too long. We've gotten to the point in the season where I need them to focus for this amount of time, this is what we're gonna do today, this is why we're gonna do it, and then I just let them go. And they're gonna learn from the mistakes they make. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with mistakes are gonna happen. I just want us to stay aggressive on both ends of the floor. I think they're starting to figure that out. But I have to also set them up to do that. So it's a 2-way street. Consistent effort from them and me consistently pushing them and allowing them to figure things out.
With USF, you mentioned that you saw Coach Fernandez and them a lot while you were at UConn.
Yeah.
Does that give you any advantage, having seen what he does down there?
I don't know if it's an advantage. I think I remember scouting them. I draw the short straw because they run about 1,000 plays. And they're no different in that way. I have a lot of respect for Jose. I think he's just a good human, but he's also done a really good job there. And the way that he sets his team up to be successful, I have a lot of respect for that because every year in and year out, they're good. And they were really tough for us to play against at UConn. We played them 3 or 4 times a year. Courtney Williams was a player they had. Everybody watched in the WBA, maximized her potential. They had a player that was Latvian, Kitty Alaska, that was just extremely difficult to defend. But his kids are winners. His program's a winning program. That just has a lot to say about his ability to do great things as a coach, his ability to develop his staff and his players. I don't know that it gives me an inside track, but I do know what we're up against. I do know that they're a great team, they're going to be prepared, and that it'll be a great test for my team, which is why we're going.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time. Best of luck
Always
on Thursday.
appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
Coach.